What is going on, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I'm Wingman Steve.
And I'm Chris 183. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are back with another HSNE Goes Old School. We're going back in time to talk about some of the, old school punk albums that we have not yet talked about on this show. A lot of pop punk, Steve, but not a lot of punk ska. And we've been meaning to do that for a while, and now we're finally doing it.
Yep, I actually have a mohawk now. It is pink and purple, and that's a lie. But after I listen to this and to the Descendants, I feel like I have it.
We did talk about you potentially doing that, and I think you shut it down. But
I'm thinking about it. I'm bringing it back.
We did the faux hawk, but what about the mohawk? But yeah, so we're gonna dive right into another album today, and this one I think is a lot different, in my opinion, from the album we talked about prior to this. In the Descendants, this one, I think this band is still punk at its roots. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue that, but I'll tell you what, Steve, like, their music is a lot more melodic, in my opinion, and we'll talk about whether or not we felt that it was a lot more enjoyable or less or the same. But yes, we're going to talk about the band Rancid today, but not just the band. We're going to talk about the album And Out Come the Wolves, a super important album by this band in the mid-90s, 95 to be exact. And Steve, you and I are not alone talking about this one.
No, we're not alone. I was talking to my buddy who's been on our show before. He joined us for the Fall Out Boy episode, and he just launched his own podcast. We'll let him talk about that in a little bit later. But I was talking to him about what we're recording tonight, and he goes, well, this is Mark. Mark, what did you say to me earlier today when I told you that we were talking about Rancid?
So this album is awesome. This is kind of what got me into, I guess, pop punk. But it was a punk album, but and we'll talk about it as we go on. But this was an album. Ruby Soho is probably the most famous song from this album, and I was a little 11-year-old kid jumping in my bed to this, listening to it when it was playing on MTV. I think the show was like 120 minutes. I don't even know the name of the show they used to play on MTV at nighttime.
That's
it. Had Green Day, all that stuff with Matt Pinfield. I don't know if you guys even remember that stuff, but I remember hearing this song and something about that song just like triggered me.
So we talk very often, Mark and I, and known each other for 25 years at this point in time. I never knew that Rancid was the band that got him into like punk rock music or pop punk or whatever it is. So having said that, I said, Mark, just go make some notes. If you love this album, let's talk about this one. And yeah, so he's got some history with this one. Chris, do you have any history with Rancid? I like saying Rancid.
The only history I have is basically that they were all over the place with a couple songs similar to what Mark said in the mid to late 90s. So, you heard heavy rotation on a couple of the songs that are on this album. And so, did I know about them? Absolutely. Was I a big fan? I don't think so back then. I don't think so. However, I do now, in my latter years, see a lot of connection that I didn't see before with some of the bands that I was a big fan of and still am a big fan of, namely Green Day. And I guess we'll talk about that when we get into some of the history of the band. But for me, no, I mean, it was really just a tertiary appreciation for a couple of the hits, but nothing outside of that. So anything different with you, Steve?
I mean, I if you say the word Rancid to me, I would say Time Bomb, I would say Ruby Soho, and I would feel confident that when those songs came on, I know what they were. I like them. They're good. I don't really remember like where I consumed them back in the day, right? I guess MTV. I mean, I guess maybe like rock radio, Long Island 923 K-Rock. Probably not even. I don't know. But it's hard to ignore those two songs. And outside of those two songs, and these guys have been around since 1991. They've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got like 10 studio albums. I can't say that I know all that much Rancid, other than like Time Bomb, Ruby Soho, and then I'll save a couple of my comments for when we get into the songs. But I mean, I never had anything like negative to say about them, but I never like got super into them, and I did a lot of research like on the band themselves for this episode, and it was super interesting. Do you guys, Mark? Do you know about like Rancid, who they are, their influence? Like, do you know much about Rancid, or you just like this album?
So I know a pretty good amount. And so your boy Travis Barker from Blink 182, he played in a band that was started by Rancid by I believe Lars Fredriksson started that, but he has Lars Fredriksson and the Bastards, and then you have Tim Armstrong. But the Transplants was a Rancid spinoff band right after that, and then they started
Was
Operation
Travis
Ivy.
in that?
He was the drummer
Okay.
for the Transplants. Operation Ivy was their first band with the bassist Matt Freeman and Tim Armstrong, the singer and the guitarist. That was the more ska band, and then they started Rancid. It's kind of my extent. I know Lars Fredriksson and the Bastards. This was probably, I've heard other Rancid albums, but this one probably sticks the most. There's some really good songs on this album. And if you were to ask a casual listener, name a Rancid song, the only one they'd probably tell you is Ruby Soho.
Or Time Bomb. Or Time Bomb.
Or Time Bomb. Time Bomb's a good one too.
I think those may be equal.
But that's one of the ones there are two of them that might be in my top 3, but there's another one. So
don't give that away. We save that for the end there.
I'm not.
Chris, do you know much about Rancid and the history of Rancid?
Well, doing research for the show, the little bit that really stuck out to me is that, Rancid, their roots were in Berkeley, California. Isn't that also where Green Day originated from? Is Berkeley, California?
I think that the way that the lore goes is that I think they were trying to get Billy Joe to join Rancid, or maybe it was. I think that's the way it was. But yes, they're good friends. And correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember I know you went to Hella Megatour. Did you see when Green Day played with Smashing Pumpkins and Rancid opened like a year or two ago?
Yes.
Oh, so I got there late. I didn't see Rancid. Did you see Rancid that day?
I did, and they were great.
Okay.
They were great.
But there's your connection. Like Green Day and Rancid, yes. They're
100%. 100%. But like even going back to the early 90s, early to mid 90s when I started getting into Green Day, and I bought the album Dookie, but then I was really into them, so I bought the earlier albums, Kerplunk, and it was the 1039 Smoothed Out Slappy Hours, I think it was called. It was a compilation of different EPs. Anyway, there was a couple songs, maybe just one. It was Knowledge for sure that I remember that was on that, and I didn't realize it was a cover, but it was an Operation Ivy cover, and in the booklet of the CD it said OPIV. And I never knew what that was until later in life when I found out what Operation Ivy was. Obviously, in the mid-90s, I had no way of looking things up. I didn't have the internet. When it said things you didn't know about, how are you going to find out about those things? You had to read about it or just have somebody else that knew, and nobody else was around me knew about that.
Encyclopedia Britannica?
It may be, but probably not. At the end of the day, like I had an appreciation for Operation Ivy even before I knew about Rancid, and then I had an appreciation for what I heard with Rancid, but I never got into the album. But yeah, that's as far as it goes. So anything different for you on this one, Steve?
That's about it. I also found out that Tim Armstrong was in Dance Hall Crashers, which is, I don't know their music. I just know my girlfriend likes UL and DHC, which is Dance Hall Crashers. So, I mean, again, when I was, you guys collectively said a whole lot of it, but I know the name Operation Ivy. I know the Transplants. Not that I know all their music. I know Dance Hall Crashers. I know Rancid. It just seems like, they're connected to Green Day. This just seems like all these like puzzle pieces kind of coming together with a band that I have already heard of. And I was bummed that I missed their set when they opened for Green Day. But at least we get to go back and listen to 19 tracks of And Out Came the Wolves.
Absolutely. And you know what the other anecdote was, and Mark brought it up with Ruby Soho. So, I connected with that song too, but it's such, in the long run, it's such a short song. And again, at the time, there were no Spotify and no way to really get that song unless you bought the album, and I didn't have it. So the only way that I could listen to it was MTV, the radio, and that's it. So I really, really look forward to when that came on the radio, but it was so short. And I tried to tape it. I don't think I ever got it. But I really like the video too. And I think I did get that on tape one time. But yeah, so it was definitely something where of the time, didn't have the CD, wanted to listen to it, couldn't listen to it all the time. Potentially, guys, that made it a little bit more special when it did come on.
Mark, anything else for you about when the album came out, or jumping on your bed listening to this record?
No, it's funny that he said he tried to record it. I tried to record it too. I ended up recording like the end of the video when it came on, because you couldn't predict when things came on back in those days. Quite interesting. I did fall off my bed jumping on it one time, and my mother came in my room because that show came on in like the middle of the night. I should be asleep at 12 years old at 1 o'clock in the morning, but I wasn't. So, but
all right. Well, the album itself, and let's take a quick pause here to say thank you to our patrons. We got Sam, Nick, Jeff, Tom, Ashley, Jason, Punk Rock Mom, Chris, Punkish Dad, and Punkish Dad's friend. Thank you for your patronage. So the album itself is called "And Out Come the Wolves." It was released August 22nd in 1995. Now, here's a thing that I never knew. This was produced by Jerry Finn, the Jerry Finn, the fourth member of Blink-182. So this album was produced by him and Rancid. It was put out on Epitaph Records. It's been certified platinum, so there's over 1 million copies that have been sold. It peaked at number 45 on the Billboard 200, which I think is pretty freaking high for like a ska punk record. And there was a lot of interesting stuff going on around this time, around 95, because of the success with Green Day and The Offspring. There was actually like a bidding. This is not their first album. This is their third album. There was actually a bidding. They were on Epitaph, and I guess they had finished up their contract, or they were free agents, or whatever it was. There was actually like a bidding war to sign these guys. And that's where Out Come the Wolves actually comes from. What I found out is that now that Green Day and The Offspring and these guys are getting like real big, and this California punk scene is starting to get popular, people started to throw money at them and get them to sign. So they kind of felt like, oh, all right, now we're the next thing. And, getting Jerry Finn to produce this, I don't know whose choice that was, but that was a fucking good move, because you could hear it. We did a spotlight last week on the Descendants, Milo Goes to College. Stark difference, Chris. Stark difference in the way that this album sounds, the way that album sounds.
Yeah, you're a little bit more specific about that. I was a little bit more light, but you're right. It is like night and day on that. Jerry Finn, that's interesting. So you actually I did not know that, and I did not know about the Outcomes the Wolves part. So Outcome the Wolves part, that's really cool. What about the sad punk guy on the cover of the album? Anything about the sad punk guy?
I don't know. That just might be them. Might be one of the members of Rancid. I don't know.
They're just tired. Maybe he's sleeping on the stairs.
Could be.
That's Lars Fredriksson. That's who that is.
Oh, that's him?
Okay.
That's him. And it was actually done as an homage. Well, they said it was done coincidentally, but it was homage to another album. I looked it up earlier, but now I forget who it was. But it's the same cover as another a punk album that came out in the 70s.
Like the Ramones or the Sex Pistols or somebody like that?
No. It'll come to me.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else before we get into this? Again, we got 19 tracks here. And again, this is different music than the Descendants, but just that was the first old school record we did. This is the second one that we're doing. And, these songs a lot of these songs are relatively long compared to the previous record. They're mostly over 2 minutes, some of them over 3 minutes. So we're in for a treat here.
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying this to you specifically or anybody, you or Mark. I'm just saying I don't want to make this a Descendants versus Rancid comparison show. myself. I think that there's a place for the Descendants and there's a place for this. However, what I will talk about is what I prefer and what I enjoy in terms of the two. So we can dive right in if you guys are ready with the first track.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, well, we kick things off with Maxwell Murder, not Miss Murder. This is not an AFI album, or is it?
It's not. It does start off a little Halloweeny in the beginning of the song.
A little bit. So yes, maybe you have a little bit of AFI influence, reverse influence, I guess you would call it, but not really. Now this is this is where you start to think about, okay, this is a little bit different of a punk sound, a lot more melodic. It's more cohesive, in my opinion, of a song than maybe what we listen to with the Descendants. But cohesiveness is important because enjoyability factor goes way up, and this song really has that for me. Coming into like the first track, and I don't know if you want to consider this an intro track or its own track, whatever it is, it's long enough to be its own track, I think. But it's more, it makes me more of a fan of this band right away as it grabs me with that more melodic guitar behind what is that classic punk delivery by the lead singer. I believe this one's Tim, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's Lars, but I could be wrong. I don't know when Lars or Tim sings. I think Tim is the guy that has that really just voice that he says words so weird.
Tim is the raspier voice. Yes, he's the
raspy is one thing, but like he says like half. It sounds like he's falling asleep mid-word sometimes, but that's the style. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. But that sound, that lyrical delivery in front of this great melody and these guitars, I think is instantly enjoyable. And I was a big fan of Maxwell Murder, and it really got me interested enough, Steve and Mark, to immediately buy this album on vinyl. So I did.
When, like just now or like a long time ago?
About a week ago.
Nice. Is it? Do you have it there? Did you like buy it in a store? Or you have to wait for it to arrive.
No, I ordered it on the internet, and it hasn't come in yet.
Oh, cool. I was hoping you could like hold up the record and we can see what it looks like.
No, I will do that, and it will not take 6 months to do it this time, and that's a callback to something else. But I will do it soon. We can post it. But yeah, so I did. But you know, there's more to it than just this first song, but it definitely helped. Yeah. What did you guys think?
Marcos, what do you think of Maxwell Murder?
So Maxwell Murder is a great way to start an album, and it probably features one of the coolest bass lines in any of this punk music. Like Matt Freeman, who's the bassist for Rancid. I heard this song when this album came out, but it wasn't a very popular song. I probably heard it in like 98, actually 3 years later, when Napster was a thing and you could download albums and things like that. But when I actually bought the album and I heard this, I bought a bass. I can't play this song on the bass. The only thing I play is Pink Panther and maybe Longview by Green Day. That's all I can play. But I tried to play this song. That bass line at the pretty much the end of the song, because they're short, is amazing to me. This is a great way to start an album.
Yeah, I think this is a good one to kind of pick apart for track one. Super bassy. There's this pre-chorus. It's kind of like so fast spoken. It's like almost out of rhythm. Which again, I'm gonna stop making the comparisons, but I'll make one here. And kind of what we heard, with Descendants. Some of the stuff that's not exactly in rhythm, a little bit outside of it. But then the difference is the chorus is just super melodic and really catchy, and you can just tell that like. Throw everything else away. No comparisons. Like this for 1995. This is a very good recording. And what I'm looking at on Spotify, it doesn't say that it was like remastered or anything like that. Usually, if that's the case, it'll tell you. But this music sounds very good for that particular like point in time. So, and for this style of music, I did make a note that there is a bonkers bass solo that apparently Mark can't do. And I really like. I don't know what 999 is, but apparently the song is about a fictional violent character that's inspired by the Beatles. But I thought this was a really cool I think it's a full track. I mean, it's only a minute 25, but I think it's a cool way to kick it off.
Cool. Well, why don't you keep it going then and talk about the next song?
The 11th hour, number 2. All right, so the guitar lick in this one, like, instantly just made me think of the Ataris. Now, obviously, this stuff is before the Atari, so I'm making these collaborations in reverse, but this one is even more catchy. And what I like is that you can pretty much understand most of the lyrics in this one. So I thought this was really cool. I think that I was really pleased, like, listening to this. And again, I don't know if I've ever listened to this album before this episode, prepping for this in its entirety, but I thought this one was great.
Go ahead, Mark.
You on mute?
This one's a classic,
there you go.
Classic punk song here. It's fast paced. It's a good song. Like, it hits you after Maxwell Murder, and it just comes on. This is a good second song on this album. It's very punky. Let's just put it that way.
Do we have this debate about ska or punk, or we don't need to do that?
No, not yet. We will, but not yet. So, look, I'll just second the tempo portion of what you guys said. I thought, the first thing that kind of hit me was the faster, energetic tempo to the song, and I think that was the draw for me overall. I do like the bouncy guitars. Maybe that kind of draws back to what you're saying about that Atari sound. And the vocals here, Tim Anderson's vocals were spot on. I love them on this track. So you're right, Steve. We only listened to what we listened to back then. And when you start to open up a lot of the songs that are part of this whole, it's really interesting how other stuff on here is good too. And for me, and I'll tell you what, normally we go and Mark, you can start the next one, or the one after this one. But for me, like, that transitions directly into Roots Radical. Did I say it right? Roots Radicals?
Yeah.
Roots Radicals. Yeah.
Yeah, guys. I mean, when I talk about a track that I really enjoy, like, this is spot on. Like, to me, the chorus is amazing. The melody on this one is through the roof. This is melodic punk at its best. Like, I love what they're doing with the sound here. The guitars, it just all kind of works together. I think this is right up there with any of the singles that they put out. Definitely a lot of yaz, though. I want to say there's probably over 30 of them. I didn't count them up, but maybe close to it.
You didn't?
No. Did you?
I was counting on you for that.
I was almost going to do it, but I was already halfway through them and had to keep going. So, and didn't go back. But yeah, guys, I mean, Roots Radicals, amazing track here. Just a head bopper, and you can't say it's not catchy. So I was all in on this one.
It's funny that you say that this has the caliber to be a single. This was the first single off the record.
I didn't know. See, I didn't even know that. So.
Yeah. And so when I think about this record and I look at the track list, I go, okay, Time Bomb, Ruby Soho. I wasn't thinking too much about this one, but then when it came on, I was like, I recognize this. Like, for some reason, I know this song. And this was the first single. It got to number 27 on the Billboard Modern Rock chart. And this is, I guess it's probably the first song where I started to hear, like, the twang. I think he says sparing for Chang instead of, like, chain. Like, he just has that weird thing. And this one just has that, like, ska, like, anthem, like the ska theme anthem thing to it. Roots reggae. I don't know a whole lot about reggae, but it's a thing. And they like it. Rancid likes it. It's reggae that has political radicalism, and this song kind of reflects that. The chorus, give him the boot, I'm a radical. Great harmonies. Again, the bass shines crazy. There's a great breakdown section with those yeahs. There's kind of like a callback. I feel like they do a little bit of this, like, 50s, 60s kind of doo-wop vibe at times. I think the song, like, really had it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you said it was a single. That's that was their first single off of this album.
Yeah,
and it's very catchy. Guitar work on this is good too. The vocals was good. And I don't know if you might have probably seen them live at Warped Tour. Rancid played a lot of Warped Tours. I don't think you ever sat there and listened to them. And this is a live song that they like to do.
I mean, if I saw them live at Warped Tour, it was with you, so
Yeah.
you might know the answer to this.
Yeah, so you probably did. But and you bring up that ska. The next song will go into Time Bomb, which was also is a classic song there. That's more ska though. That one has the classic ska rhythms, right? That one gets in your head. And I think that song actually influenced a lot of people. It's one of their better songs. What do you think?
Go into it, man. You're naturally transitioning here to Time Bomb. It seems like you want to talk about that one. So
I do like Time Bomb. I'm waiting till we get to my song. I used to jump on the bed, but
you're very focused on this core. I didn't realize there was this core memory of you jumping on the bed to. I'm gonna guess it's Ruby Soho, but
yeah.
Let's go to Chris for Time Bomb.
I didn't love this. I'll tell you what, like, this is not a song that I really got into back when it was on the radio. I generally switched it off, and I don't really know why. I just didn't think it was that good. But this has grown on me, guys. I have a new appreciation for this song for sure. Listening to it for this show specifically, I just for some reason or another think it's much better than what I originally gave it credit for. So, that can happen with time. I think that you're right. Like, it's very ska based. I always said to myself, like, is this tied into the swing revival of the late '90s with the black boots and the
No, this is not Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
I hope not. But the other thing
you
was,
can hear his growl when you bring that up. It's a groan.
The other thing is, I never had any clue what he was saying in this song.
It doesn't matter.
Like, just the lyric, like, there, like, I know the time, but got the boys a time bomb. Like, the chorus you can hear, but the
black coat, white shoes.
Yeah, like, you can hear that. But everything else, guys, like, if you don't have the lyrics in front of you, good luck.
It doesn't matter. It's like Blues Traveler hook. Once that hook comes and that chorus comes, you sing along to it.
I suppose. I didn't say that I liked it less because of it. I'm just making an observation. So
I agree with you, though. It is very difficult to understand the verses. Like, I think this song is quite iconic, and I would pose the question. We can wait till we get to Ruby Soho. Which is a bigger song? I think Time Bomb and Ruby Soho are equally big to the average listener. I wonder what the Rancid fan would say. But this one got to number 8 on the Billboard Modern Rock chart. So this was the highest charting they had. And to me, it doesn't matter what the verses say. It doesn't matter if you have any idea what they're saying, because I never did. I don't. It's just one of those choruses where it doesn't matter that you don't know what the fuck the chorus means, what the song means. All of a sudden, you hear this song, you're just like, black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah, the time bomb. You just do it. You just do it.
And that ska strumming, right? It's that kind of rhythm right there.
On the, what are they? It's like on the upticks. When we have the musicians on, they know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not a musician. Sorry, I can't even play Maxwell Murder. So.
They do also they add some like cool synth into this. I think the song is great. Apparently, it's about a good friend of the band whose name was Eric Hogan, and he used to own American Graffiti Tattoo, and he was supposedly murdered by the Hells Angels because he slept with a gang member's wife. So that's why he's a time bomb. I guess he's going to explode because he's doing these bad things. And there are other references. In Tears come from the razor that's been tattooed below. Again, this is what things I'm learning now. But if you ask me about the song, I'm just like, black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah, that was a time bomb. That's all that matters. That's it.
But it's about a guy that got murdered.
Yes.
By a biker gang.
Yes. who may have been in the wrong for sleeping with the biker gang member's wife.
Oh, you know why I didn't like this song is because remember that guy I was talking about that would always do that stupid skank dance, and I would hate it so bad.
I mean,
And
skanking it is a dance.
but this guy was just so awkward doing it, and it bothered me a lot. He had a Cadillac, and so
Oh,
he would always like say, "This is about
double
me," and I was
whammy.
like, "No, it's not about you."
You're like, shut the fuck up, dude.
But maybe that's what turned me off. I don't know.
Mm.
But now that I'm separated from that by many years, maybe that's why now I can appreciate it more.
Maybe. All right. Well, let's move over to the next one, which is called Olympia, Washington. I can't remember if I've been to Olympia, Washington. I've been to somewhere in Washington.
I have not. I've never been to Washington.
I was in
I've
Seattle
also
and
never been to Washington.
Seattle and Paulsbo. I don't know exactly where Olympia. Actually, I think I was at Olympia. Anyways, this is a song, guys, and I really liked it. What did you think? Whose turn is it?
Good, Mark.
I like the song a lot, actually, and only because we're doing this show, I actually listened to it again. I hadn't heard this song in forever, but it's really good. I think this is one of the most underrated songs because it was never a single. Because we're talking 1995, you didn't have singles. Every song wasn't a single back then, but I really like the lyrics of this song, and I like the tune to it. It makes me feel good, this song.
I wonder why he wants to get back to Olympia. They're not from there.
No, they're from California.
They're from Northern California, which is in the same vicinity as the Northwest.
Is it? Or is it like 7 hours away?
I don't know the exact distance, but I think it's more about the comparison between like New York City and a place like Olympia.
Yeah, because the chorus mentions New York City. That's in the chorus, right?
Exactly.
52nd and Broadway, I
Yes.
believe it was. Yeah. So
Well, I mean, I'll go and I don't have very much to say, but I'll mirror the fact that it is a great song. I think the melody here is another just spot on melody. Like it hooks you in, and especially in the chorus, I think the melodic chorus here is the hook for me specifically. The only thing about it is I don't know if there's enough much. There's not much different. It's more of the same, but to me, like more of the same so far in this album is fun. So I'm okay with that. It's just that not really much stood out to me as different or something that I can point to as unique. It's just, keeping the album going with another good song.
Yeah, I really liked it. I felt like this one had a little bit like a storyteller nature to this one. Even right from the beginning, he's talking about like hanging out with Lars on 6th Street. He's running into some Puerto Ricans and this and that. I think the guitar in this one, most of the songs I've been talking about the bass. The guitar in this one was really cool. I will say that I don't know if any of us have straight up said this, but I don't really like Tim's voice. Like it doesn't. I don't know if it's. I think it's Tim. I don't really like his voice, but I do really like this chorus, even where he's like, back to Olympia. Like, it sounds like he's out of breath and he just ran an entire football field and he's finally in the end zone. But I don't know. I still really enjoy it. All the instrumentals, all the music in this one, I feel like it's top notch. And you get that, again, kind of juxtaposition, if you will, between like New York City and, the wide open, the highway, whatever it is, Olympia, Washington. I always like that. Anything that references New York, usually I'm kind of a sucker for. But I really liked Olympia, Washington. This is a great song.
Yeah, I'm reading something where they call his vocals, it's shout along vocals of Tim Armstrong. So do you feel like you could shout along with him?
I don't know. This is something I probably would never attempt at a karaoke night. I don't think so.
It sounds like, it doesn't sound like he's shouting. It sounds like he's giving up on words or giving up on lines. Like he just kind of drops the end of a word just because he doesn't feel like it.
He's like, I'm done.
It'll come back. You'll come back to it. Lockstep Gone is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
We
the
moving
next
on
one.
here. Yeah, so I think this song has a bit of an edge to it, a little bit grungier, of a song, but it still works for Rancid just fine. I want to say this is not Tim. I feel like it's maybe
There's a lot of
Lars.
Lars in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I see. I'm learning. I'm
Yeah.
learning here, but I think the repeating for me, like the repeating chorus here, super catchy part, definitely what stood out to me the most. So another great one. I don't think there's much more than that I could say. But what did you guys think about Lock Step Gone?
Go ahead, Mark.
At first, when I re-listened to this song, I was like, "This is probably the song I like the least." And then I got into the chorus. I'm like, "No, scratch that. I like this song.
What
It's
is
pretty
the
good."
chorus? I didn't really find a chorus.
More of a breakdown, right? Like or a bridge, right? And
No,
all these songs are kind of like very short, so you have a whole lot of nothing. I'm a lockstep, right? The whole lot of nothing, whole lot of nothing. That's the main repeating line that they kind of say.
yeah, I think that's it. It's basically I can't hear it right now, but the music does change several
Yeah,
times for a chorus. So I
Could
have to
be that
listen to the
time where he's
song to be
like
able
the
to
stop
answer you.
sign's broken and the meter's going down. I mean, that might be it. I had I had a difficult time like figuring out. I thought this was just kind of like there were a couple of parts that repeated, but I found that I didn't find there was any chorus in this one, which doesn't really matter. I think that the guitars made me think of like some like old school stuff like the Ramones in this one. And
yeah,
I think maybe what you guys are talking about, it could be that there is a chorus. It could just be like this call and response thing, right? The ending isn't there. There's something wrong. Like they do that call and response thing basically throughout the song. And I think that is super fun. So I enjoyed that, but I couldn't really find like an actual chorus. I thought this one overall it was decent. It was kind of middle of the pack. And for an album that has been pretty strong thus far, I can't really complain. I wouldn't skip it. That's for sure.
right. And that's why I said like I at first I thought I hated it, and then I was like, it's not bad. And there's a good bass line in this one too. And so,
I can't believe that I said that I bought the record, and then you said you bought a bass guitar. Like that kind of just that's definitely more than what I did.
Wait, did you buy that basic guitar recently, or you mean back in high school?
that was back. That was in 2003. I bought this bass to try to.
Still,
Chris, you should buy a bass. I think
I
that's
guess
what
I
Mark
have
was saying.
or just like a big drum kit. I can't do the exact same thing. I had to do something similar. So,
Like I
Drums
said, I could play the
requires a lot
Pink
more
Panther
square
theme.
footage.
Play the Pink Panther theme and Longview. That's about it. So,
what could I buy that could accompany your Pink Panther theme? What else? What else is?
I mean, that's all. That's only a bass line, right?
You could just get a guitar.
I guess the guitar is the only thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of guitars.
That's
I
right.
don't know if I want to join that one or not, because that can be a
That's a rabbit hole.
you could fall down, and I don't need another hobby. Trust me.
Ask Punkish Dad.
All right, guys. What do we got next on our list here? Junkie Man. Junkie Man. What do you think about the Junkie Man, Steve?
Junkie Man, tell me what your story is. Actually, when I listen to this song, it just makes me think of something that in real life. It makes me think of a real person. So there's this shopping center that's right by me, and in this shopping center, there's a lot of stores, and I'm at the shopping center like almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day. There's Trader Joe's, Five Below, Staples, Starbucks, Panera Bread. There's a First Watch breakfast place. There's Five Guys. There's so much stuff. I didn't even there's T-Mobile. There's all these things in this place, and there is this one gentleman, and he is always there every morning, and he's kind of got like a bag. And my wife always refers to him as the homeless guy. But he's always in this shopping center, and he's not a junkie. I definitely wouldn't call him a junkie. But I said to her, I don't know that he's homeless. I think that he just works like an overnight shift at one of these places. That's why he's there in the morning and he's just kind of meandering. Everybody's always nice to him. And I think that we have kind of a goal together that one of us needs to like find out like what his deal is, because we also see him. I think he either takes a bus somewhere or somebody picks him up. Like we see him standing on the side of the shopping center to get picked up. So when I listen to Junkie Man, tell me what your story is. Junkie Man, tell me what your story is. Again, I don't think that this particular gentleman's a junkie. He may be homeless, he may not be, but I kind of want to know what his story is. And in terms of the actual song, the twangs in this one are like they're pretty hilarious. He says like the son of a god, like when he's saying the son of God. I can't even think of exactly what it is. But interesting enough, I looked up a little bit about this. This was co-written by a guy named Jim Carroll. He's an author, he's a poet, he's a punk musician. He does the spoken word section where they actually talk about an outcome, the wolves. I love where he starts talking about, again, I don't even know if it was meant to seem this way. He talks about his transistor and his transparency. I don't know if I ever realized that transistor and transparency are like transistor, transparency. Like there are like weird, fun like things to like play off these words. I thought that the spoken word thing, they throw in like turntables into this, which was something we have not heard yet. I found that this one was very easily digestible and I liked it. It's not probably going to go up on the favorites list, but I enjoyed it. So, Junkie Men, tell me what your stories are.
No, I mean, I'll be quick. I don't have much to say on this one. I don't know. It's not my go-to. This was an album track to me and nothing more. So I couldn't really pull anything else out of it that I could talk about. Thought it was fine, but it wasn't great. What about you, Mark?
I agree. It's fine. It's not great. I mean, the chorus is catchy. Junkie Man, tell me what the story is. If you read into it like Steve did, that spoken word part, that's a Jim Carroll poem. Yes. And he actually inspired that film, The Basketball Diaries.
Yeah, it's about him.
So, yeah. So,
but he wrote. So wait, hang on. Did Rancid sing his poem, or did he have influence on writing this piece?
No. So the bridge part, my hand went blind. You were in the van with
the
their
spoken
speaking.
Word part.
That is a poem by Jim Carroll.
But Rancid is singing it or speaking it.
Speaking it.
Okay.
Well, he's speaking it, I think.
Jim Carroll is.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's cool.
Yeah.
To have this guy guest on your song.
So
not that I know who that guy is.
I just know The Basketball Diaries. I don't remember if I saw that movie.
I did not, but I know Leonardo DiCaprio's in it.
I've heard of it.
Wasn't it Leo and Wesley Snipes or something? Yeah.
So the Leo DiCaprio character was this guy, Jim Carroll.
Yeah.
Who's on the Rancid song. Worlds are colliding at the Junkie Men.
Apparently. What about the other one? What about the next one? Listed MIA. Any different?
Any different what?
Any different opinions about this one versus Junkie Man?
This one's got a little bit like of the get the fuck out of my hometown kind of vibe. Maybe, I'm checking out. I'm never coming back. I'm checking out. I'm listed MIA. This one's got a lot of claps first time. I know Chris hates claps. I love that line. He goes, "Well, I'm numb. It ain't no fun. I'm less than zero when you add up the sum." I didn't say that properly, but when he says it, I liked it that way. I thought this was just another enjoyable song. I actually, so far, I don't think there's one I haven't really liked.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I thought that it was good. I think the intro to this track was amazing. I like the intro guitar and everything kind of leading up to the lyrics. I'm not as big a fan of the chorus. I don't think it had enough to it to really make me think this is really good and this adds to the song. But I'm mainly here for the guitars on this one. I thought they were definitely great. So I was that's where I was on this one. Mark, what about you?
Yeah, guitars are Guitars are awesome on this song. But again, it's just another song in a pretty good punk album. All these songs are so short though. Like you go from one to another and they just kind of blend together at times.
Dude,
But
this
you
was
start-
over. This was over. Oh no, sorry. Junkie Man was over 3 minutes. I guess this
Yeah.
one's only 2:22.
Yeah, so this one goes back short, right? And it's like Junkie Man was a story, right? And then you had spoken word, but then you get to this song and there's storytelling. There's storytelling in all these songs, right? And the guitar in this is really good. I like that about it. It's not one of my favorite songs on this album, but it's not so far we've gone through what? This is the eighth song on this album.
Yep.
None of them have been bad. So, but I think I'm gonna just go to the next one.
Oh, so you've been waiting for Ruby Soho. All right. Well, why don't we give this one to you? Tell us why you were jumping on your bed. All these good things.
I don't know. There's something about this song. It probably has one of the catchiest hooks, catchiest choruses, and it probably goes down in history as probably Rancid's best song. I think if you Google Rancid's best song, this comes up. And for whatever reason, this song is 30 years old now, and a lot of people use it. I don't know if you guys watch wrestling at all.
Yeah.
Chris does.
AEW. There's a wrestler called Ruby Soho, and she got in 2022. She got actually introduced by Rancid. They played their song live for her to come down to the ring, and she was actually Ruby something else in WWE, and then she
Ruby
went to,
Riot. She was Ruby Riot.
Yep, and she went to AEW, and because Lars likes wrestling and he had a podcast, he gave her permission to use the name. But like I said, now it's 2025 now, and people are still singing this song. It's just I don't know, between this and Green Day and Offspring, those were my three bands in the 90s that kind of got me hooked on pop punk. But this one somehow just struck a chord to me. It's just so catchy. It's so I had no idea what the song was about. Like, I didn't even care what I was singing. It was just Destination Unknown, Ruby, 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 Ruby Soho. I don't know. It's just catchy, right? I have no idea what Ruby Soho was. It's a woman, but I didn't know that back then. What's your thing, Steve?
You know, you guys keep saying how this is the more popular one. Do you really think that this one is more popular than Time Bomb? It seems
Yes,
like you guys think
yeah.
that.
100%. I
mean-
think you live in a world where Time Bomb is more popular and the Hey Leonardo song is more popular too.
Okay, so I live in a world of facts, and you guys live in a world of fiction. So, all right. So you think, I don't know if you've looked at the Spotify streams or if you're looking at it now. So you think Ruby Soho has more than Time Bomb? That would be the guess?
I think it's definitely more recognizable when you ask the random person, "Hey, what's a Rancid song?" This is the one they would give you.
They go to Ruby Soho.
Yes.
But do you think that there's more streams on Ruby Soho than Time Bomb? You're saying it doesn't matter.
I imagine that's how you're measuring it. I don't know the answer to that. Yes.
I mean, this is only one way to measure it, and this is just a quantitative, not a qualitative. But I mean, Time Bomb is way more streams. Like,
Does it?
yeah. Like,
I if I Google what is Rancid's most popular song, Ruby Soho comes out first.
on what, Google's AI bullshit, or
No,
you
just
have-
like where it says Rancid, Ruby Soho, Red Hot Moon, Maxwell Murder.
Well,
But-
listen. So Red Hot Moon is before Time Bomb? Are you fucking get
But
rid
then
of
you
your
go
browser?
down
Are
to
you in
videos.
Microsoft Edge? What are you doing?
No, I'm on Google. I'm on Chrome
Well,
here.
even if you go back to the mid 90s, you think about MTV, that was the center of everything music for our age group. You did not see Time Bomb as
video, yeah.
in a regular rotation comparable to Ruby Soho. It was on so much more.
Well, I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I don't really care one way or the other. But Time Bomb was the second single. It got to number 8 on the charts. Ruby Soho was the third single. It got to number 13 on the chart. So Time Bomb did better. If you're looking at Spotify, like obviously this album is like 30 years old now, right? So it's like 50 million more streams on Time Bomb than Ruby Soho. So again, I don't really have a dog in this fight. I don't really give a shit. I'm just trying to, spark some conversation here. I kind of feel like they're just somewhat equal, whereas you guys are saying that Ruby Soho is like so much past Time Bomb, where I kind of feel like they're closer. But Time Bomb has way more streams, like 50 million more.
It's a lot more digestible for the average listener that doesn't really get into punk music a ton. Ruby Soho is easier to listen to than Time Bomb. Like if you don't really listen to this kind of music, I don't think you get into that ska sound before you get into the melodic nature of what Ruby Soho brings.
Well, Ruby Soho is quite melodic. In fact, if you listen just to the first few bars of Ruby Soho, sounds a little like Gin Blossoms, like follow you down. Listen to the first few bars. Bro. Take a second, everyone listening, take a second, pause, put on Ruby Soho, just listen to the first couple bars. Sounds very Gin Blossomy. Listen, I think Ruby Soho is a fantastic song. I feel like Ruby Soho and Time Bomb are both fantastic songs. I don't know why I felt the need to put them up against each other, but it's an interesting conversation. It's a super basic, like fun chorus. Destination unknown. Ruby Soho. Ruby is a person's name. Ruby Soho, I guess, is making a kind of fake name out of it. It's a story of a guy who kind of leaves the girl to pursue his dreams and be a rock star. So it's a little bit autobiographical. This is a great song. There's no, I'm just like joshing you guys and poking you guys, but this is a great song. 100%.
Yeah. It's a mega hit.
It is just like Time Bomb, except like 50,000 less streams on Spotify than Time Bomb.
Doesn't matter though.
No, I said 1,000. I meant million. I'm sorry, 50 million less streams.
No,
it doesn't matter. I think if you ask anybody that says, "Hey, give me a Rancid song," they're not going to tell you Time Bomb. They're going to tell you Ruby Soho.
I think the average person would say one or the other. I'm just not saying that they would definitely say Ruby Soho. I'm saying that there is equal chance that they would say Time Bomb.
Steve, meet me in Times Square, and we will take a poll.
We would be the least popular motherfuckers in Times Square doing that poll. People would be like taking their pictures by by Spider-Man, and I'd be like, "Excuse me,
name a Rancid song."
Name one Rancid song?" And they'd be like, "Fuck you."
That's not a Rancid song. Well, it might be a Rancid song. I don't know.
It could be.
I don't know. I think Ruby Soho is the one that people would say over Time Bomb.
All right, listen. This episode comes out we're recording this. We're going to pull back the whole curtain. This episode comes out in a couple of days. I'm going to put up a poll that just says, how should I phrase this? What is the most recognizable? What is the number one Rancid song? And
when you think Rancid, pick a song.
Okay. I'm going to write that down. You agree with that, Chris?
I do.
Okay. When you think Rancid, this is going to go on Instagram like tomorrow, and then this will anticipate our episode.
Yeah, you guys out there, you choose correctly because you know the right answer.
Well, they won't be able to choose. This will already have been chosen by the time this airs.
And then do one for Blessed Union of Souls.
Well, that is, I am totally right on that one. All right. There's so many songs on this record. We got to go to sleep. Let's fucking move this along.
Well, one more
Daily
thing
City
Ruby
Train.
Soho.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I wanted to bring up is that round at the end where, Tim starts and then Large comes in, and then I think they then do a round with somebody else with the other part of the chorus kind of coming in on top of that. They harmonize, and then there's a round on top of it. That's my favorite part. Like, I think that's amazing, that part. And I always love that. And it's at the end of the song, and it makes me sad because it's almost over, but definitely the standout in my opinion.
The song is not even 3 minutes long, and I just love that song too.
Right.
Like, so
Well, we're on such a high with this one. The question is, do we come down off of that high with Daily City Train and the rest of the album for that matter? So we can start with Daily City Train. It's a ska punk song, ska punk song. It's just what it is, straightforward, no bells or whistles other than that. Um, I don't have much to say about this one because I didn't think it definitely was my type of song per se. Like I'm very picky about my ska punk, and this one was fine, but it just wasn't beyond that. So that's where I'm at. And maybe again, that's because it comes after Ruby Soho, and not just Ruby Soho, but a string of tracks that I really did enjoy outside of that. This one didn't quite fit the bill.
Marcos? Oh, he's gone. Okay, skipping him. I found Daily City Train to be very reggae-ish. It was just kind of guitar and vocals to start, and then it gets like super ska. Like this is the song that your buddy would be skanking to me. It's when you think about the actual lyrics, this is another one of those kind of Junkie Man story songs. Apparently, it was a tribute to one of their friends who struggled with addiction, but it seems like it's on the same kind of line, the same kind of level as a song like Junkie Man. Again, another one that I actually enjoyed. I don't. Is it an album track? Yeah, kind of, but I enjoyed it. Mark, anything about Daily City Train?
I mean, it's your classic ska punk kind of blend here. But nothing stands out to me. It's not a bad song, but it's not great. It's not Ruby Soho.
All right. Well, there's no more Ruby Sohos. There's no more singles on this record, so we still do have like 8 or 9 songs left to go. With starting with "Journey to the End of the East Bay," to the end, I'll journey to the end. I really like the song. I think there's about a 20-second like bass introduction, and then it just burst into a really fun song. This is again something that's autobiographical. They're talking about their experience in Operation Ivy. So again, I kind of like the lore, even though I wasn't part of it back then. I like the lore that they're talking about their previous band. I like autobiographical songs. I like when he talks about that they came from Matty came from New Orleans to the East Bay, and he said this is a Mecca. And Tim or whoever, he said, I said, this ain't no Mecca, man. This place is fucked. And that's pretty much everybody's interpretation of their own town. But I thought this song was, again, we're like more than halfway through this record. I thought this was a great song here.
Did they mention Operation Ivy at all, or they just talked they were in a band?
No, they just kind of talked about the fact that they're in a band. They talk about the band started in 87, ended in 89, 4 kids on tour, 3,000 miles. Like, they don't say the words, but they spell it out.
Yeah, I think this was a cool story in the song, and I really thought that intro that you talked about, like that was the standout to me, is that bass line. Talk about a bass line to learn, Mark. You have to learn this one, but that bass line into that great guitar line was an instant hook for me. So this is one that I definitely will be enjoying on that vinyl that I bought of this album for sure. So
Nice.
I was into this one I was into this one 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Maddie's a good bass player. Matt Freeman is a good bass player. This is a great bass line. So this one, the chorus is great. I like the theme, like Steve said. This is about the band. This is about a band sticking together and
well, they broke
becoming a band. Well, yeah, but
it's about them. It's about them being together.
In 1995, they didn't break up. So there you go. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, this next one, guys, I got distracted and I don't have any notes on it. I don't remember.
Well, it's only a minute and a half, so you could have like sneezed and blown your nose and you missed it.
Yeah, when I came back after being distracted, I think I was already on the next song. So, what do you guys think about this one?
She's automatic. Go ahead, Mark.
This is more of the ska style, right? If I'm thinking of the right song.
I feel like most of this album is the ska style, if you're asking me.
It's energetic, but so you guys on your show, have you guys talked about the Interrupters?
We have not.
No.
So the Interrupters is a ska band, and I saw them for the first time opening for Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. I think Steve, you went to that tour.
Yeah, but I don't know if the Interrupters. I don't remember them being on that.
There's a song, and you guys can
It
listen
was
to
the
it
Linda
whenever you want,
Lindas.
called Kerosene. And She's Automatic kind of reminds me of Kerosene. It's more of that ska. The lead singer of the Interrupters is a female, though, so it's going to be a different. It's not going to be a Tim or Lars with their raspy vocals. So, but that kind of style, and I think it just shows that Rancid influenced a lot of people, which we already knew. So.
Yeah. I mean, to me, this is a super fast minute and a half song. You know, it's a fun song about like a chick in a club. It's got a little bit of a repetitive chorus. She's automatic, so automatic, the way that she moves. You know, for what it is, it's perfectly fine. I like it. And then we go into Old Friend.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't think that it's all ska. Like Old Friend is another ska song.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But I think it's mixed in. It's definitely a lot heavier in the latter part of the album, though. I think that there are definitely, or maybe we just hit a run of them, but this is definitely one of them. Is it ska? So tell me this though: is it ska if there's no horns? Is it still ska because that up? What do they call it? That upstrum
Yeah.
Is that all it takes?
I find. So I don't think there's any horns on this record.
There's no horns.
There's no horns.
And this is definitely ska. I think if there's horns, it definitely is ska, but it could be ska without horns. Where's the expert?
Who is the expert?
I don't know.
I'm the expert.
We've talked to a lot of people who claim to be experts.
I'm the expert.
I think the ska is more of that reggae style beat, right? So it's just the strumming. The horns is modern ska.
I'm probably not the best one to talk about this one. Again, I kind of get really picky about listening to ska songs. So this one didn't do it for me because it just didn't fall into that mold of a ska song that I really wanted to listen to. So that's where I'm at.
I think this one is
talk me out of it.
This one's about. Do you guys watch the finale of Stranger Things? The last season of Stranger Things? You watched that? Yeah. I think this one is about you know, Mike's younger sister keeps going, "Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Holly." Like that's what it sounds like, right?
Maybe.
I think he's just talking.
I think the actual lyrics is "Good morning,
Holly.
heartache."
I know, right? But I'm pretty sure he's talking about Holly Wheeler in this song. The song has an awesome ska beginning. Like this is this very skanking type ska-y song without the horns. Even though he's saying "Good morning, Holly." Everything about this song is done really well. The guitars, the bass, the vibe, the ska. There's a slow down bridge. There's a catchy chorus. Again, I think this is a really, really good song in the like middle to second half of this record.
And by the way, I screwed up. I think I called him Tim Robinson, but that's wrong. Tim Robinson's the guy from he's the comedian that I like in those shows.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Whoops. But you know who I was talking about.
Yes.
Anyway.
I did.
Go ahead, Mark.
I gotta go. Disorder and Disarray. So you mentioned my name.
Did you say anything about the Old Friend, or are you moving on?
I'm moving on.
Okay.
I'm moving on.
He's just like, I'm done.
I'm done with it. Ruby Soho came and went. So
if you really want to sign off, you can sign off.
I'm not going to sign off. I'm going to stay.
Just making sure.
Until the end. You know, this is a good song, actually. This is a good song. It's got the kind of music, chaos music, punk song, classic, and it's titled appropriately, "Disorder and Disarray." That's kind of what hits.
So would you consider Tim Armstrong's lyrical delivery as slurred?
I think it's always as slurred. I don't know what you're asking me. So, like, I mean, could I understand? Could I hear words versus Steve hearing Holly instead of
That's what it sounds like. Thank you very
so,
much.
So yeah, but I think that's just a style, though. I mean, it's always been.
Steve, what did you think?
I mean, I really like this song. Again, we're talking about them signing the deal and getting paid, right? From the very beginning, businessman, come shake my hand, show me the numbers that I understand. Again, it's another autobiographical. This is a moment in the ska punk rock scene in 1993, 4, 5, whatever it is. I think it's really cool. Again, it's about kind of them, to me, say goodbye when you see me sign. Now I'm crucified, crucify me. I really like these autobiographical kind of things that are talking about what's really happening. There was kind of like a talk sing part that I found a little strange, where he's like, get on the bus, hand the guy the money. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that part didn't really do it for me. But I thought overall this is another really strong song.
Yeah. No, nothing more to add there. I just have a note that there's some fun stuff here. I think that covers a lot of what you said. I just think that, there's a really catchy way to it, and it's enjoyable. Again, these songs start to just be good, but I don't know if we necessarily hear any great songs as we kind of continue through the album. And that goes to the next one. Where are we at here? This is The War's End, right?
Yes, sir.
And I swear I had some notes on this one. Oh, there we go. I was looking at something different. I actually really liked this short song. So this one is just under 2 minutes, probably about like 1:40 or so. So not a very long song. This one's a little bit shorter than most, but it had a great sound. I think that the guitar melody on this one definitely stood out amongst like some of the last few tracks that we just talked about that I didn't have a lot to say. This one stood out for sure. And everything kind of worked together that made a really nice song. So ultimately, like, I think this brought it back up. The War's End, a little bit more my style. What about you guys?
Yeah, I didn't. It's funny. Like, this one's like kind of fine, but it didn't really do that much for me. This might be like the first time where I'm like, I don't really know about this one. Like, I don't like when the lyrics don't really go with the music, like in the intro. I feel like it was a little bit repetitive. It was not overly catchy. We're at number 15, so maybe there's one I'm not into. I think this was it. Mark?
Interesting.
I mean, I think it's okay. Lars does most of this one. Is it a thing you like Lars better than Tim? Is that what it is with you, Chris?
No, I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I think that you don't have the Rancid sound without both of them. And if you're going to ask somebody, whose voice connects you to Rancid, we just did the songs, but if you would play both voices, I think people would say Tim, because that's the voice of Rancid for sure. I mean, Lars's voice, I think, adds a nice supplement to it, but there's no Rancid without Tim's voice.
So. No, and it's like the SoCal punk style at that time, right?
Right.
So, I don't hate this song though. I think it's great. Or not great. I think it's really good, but I think the guitar riffs on it is pretty good. So,
for sure. I had that down too. And I'll tell you what, like, it parlays into You Don't Care Nothing. You Won't Care Nothing, I should say, is the next track. And I thought this one was great. Like, I was super into this track for a lot of the same reasons we've already kind of talked about. And not only that, but this dude is naming names in this track in terms of like maybe a former love interest or girlfriend. I don't know that. I'm just inferring that based on what I'm reading in the lyrics. But do we know who Jenny DeMilo is?
I have no idea, but you're right.
Find out. We should find out. Steve would know. Steve knows Jenny DeMilo.
I think I saw something online. I think it was a comment because I was curious. Like it's very specific to call out somebody first and last name in a song like multiple times. Somebody maybe said that she was like a famous hooker or prostitute or something like that, but I couldn't find anything official on that. I don't know.
Interesting.
Didn't she sing that song about Havana?
That could be a Camila Cabello.
Oh, that's Camila Cabello.
Yeah, you'd know that better than me.
That kind of sounds like Jenny DeMilo.
Jenny DeMilo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're calling out names. They're calling out names. What if instead of that name he said Steve Isle? You know,
I would be quite taken back if he had said that, especially in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I like the song a lot because the chords of this song in the very beginning are like songs of the pop punk we liked. It just gave me a vibe of stuff we were to come to hear. I don't know if you guys heard that too.
Yeah. So Steve, I like this song a lot. I don't know, like you didn't really like The War's End. Did you think differently about this track?
I didn't have too much to say about it, but I thought it had a good enough tune that I did enjoy it. Yes, but I don't have like a whole lot of exposition on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I was probably the one that really got into this one. It brought the album back up for me. So I think As Wicked going to the next track kind of brought it back down. Like I was very lukewarm on this one. It's fine. But it blends in. It blends in with the rest. So it just wasn't enough to be a standalone. This is we talked about this on previous shows where we think about songs that maybe are fine as a part of the whole versus on their own. I think this is fine as part of the flow of the album, but I wouldn't listen to this one as a standalone. So that's where I'm at it on As Wicked.
I thought it again, number 17 on this record. They still have, they're showing us some different looks, some things that are different. The words in this one are slurred as hell to me, but I found that it was another good tune. The verses were slurred and super weird, but I found that the chorus was very catchy. We got some nanas, for the first time on a punk ska whatever record. I actually thought this one reinvigorated me a little bit after The War's End and You Don't Care Nothing.
Wow.
I mean, I think you got the classic punk style intro, but it's got Tim again. You just don't like Tim. I think that's what it is. It's him just telling a story about an old man on the street.
So instead of are you a Mark guy or a Tom guy, it's are you a Lars guy or a Tim guy?
I think so.
I couldn't even answer that question.
Apparently that question's being answered for me. So it's all coming out.
It's just weird. It seems every song you like is Lars.
I don't know what to say. Maybe you're right. I don't know if it kind of continues into these last couple tracks here, but I'll let you guys lead on these. I didn't have much to say about either one. But go ahead, yeah, Steve. You want to kind of kick us off on Avenues and Alleyways?
Yeah, it's funny. They got some oys in here, and when you think about like old school ska, you think about there should probably be oys like all over the place. This is the only time we hear them in the album. I think that I actually kind of think that this could have been a successful single. Like it has a strong chorus, it's got a good musical breakdown, it's got these oys. I thought it was a pretty strong song to be towards the end of the album. I don't know. What you guys think? I think Mark drifted off towards the end.
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Mark.
I didn't drift off. I'm saying I like the Ois, and this is both of them. This is Tim and Lars on this, and I think the harmony sounds really good in this song. I think this far into an album, it's almost the last song. I think it could be better, but I don't think it's bad at all. I like the music. I like how the harmony from the both of them.
And do we feel like the way I feel? Does this feel like a last track? Again, it's been 19 songs, which is a lot of songs, but they're all fairly short. Does this feel like an epic end to a 19 track album?
No,
No,
it doesn't.
You don't think so?
No, it just feels like another kind of middle of the road song off this album is what it feels like to me.
So it doesn't like put a stamp on it or anything.
It doesn't
like that?
disappoint me. No, it doesn't disappoint me. It doesn't get me excited. It doesn't make me want to skip to the last track. It doesn't make me excited about getting here. It makes me excited potentially about starting back over the album again to track one if we're listening to it on the CD. But if I'm on a vinyl, I don't care.
I mean, that happens on the playlist too if you're listening to it through your phone.
Sure,
It goes
visually,
back over to the front.
right. But no, I mean, it's kind of a milquetoast answer, but that's how I feel. Like I just coming down these last couple songs, I always have an open mind about the end of an album, but songs really have to blow me away in order for me to like be able to say something about them at this point in time, and these ones just don't do it. So they're fine. They're just end of album songs, and that's kind of what it stands at.
Yeah, I feel like the song is pretty good. Like, it's not an epic end to a 19 track album, but I think it's good enough. Like, I like the sentiment of the song. I like the nanas in the chorus, which is, I mean, it's basically just nanas. I think it's okay to end the album.
If I had some history with this album, a little bit more history, a little bit more nostalgia, it might be a little bit different, guys, on how I feel about some of these songs that I kind of blew off a little bit. So I am going to spend a little bit more time with this as time goes on here, because I do see the potential in this. I can see the draw to it. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to really dig into it with you guys here, because it did open my eyes to something that obviously my eyes were closed to for so many years, and I don't know why. It's a great album.
It's a really good. I gotta say, there was sometimes when you think about like old school stuff, no matter what type of actual genre it is, older school stuff, sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm not gonna like this as much. But this album was really enjoyable from front to back. I gotta say, I really liked listening to it. It was great to have on in my car. It was great to have on when I was sitting at work. I really enjoyed listening to this one.
Did you guys have any friends like back in the mid 90s that had this album, or that you knew that had it?
I guess mine is here on this podcast, apparently.
well, I like Ruby Soho. I didn't actually buy this album till like I had money and I could buy albums. Because at 12 years old, my mother didn't really buy me CDs and things like that. I did have Dookie, and I had Offspring Smash on a cassette tape. I remember that one. Those were the two I had, and this kind of added to that in 90 and 95.
Okay.
So, but the thing with Rancid is they had mohawks. As a 12-year-old kid, mohawks are cool, right? Like, and you look at them now, you're like, oh, they're like classic punk, but they kind of laid the foundation, if you listen to this album, for the things you hear today.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So again, that was my kind of reflection on the album itself. But before we get any further, guys, let's go ahead and do our ranking it segment, where we rank our top 3 favorite tracks in order from Out Come the Wolves. Guys, let's go ahead and do it. We always let the guests go first. So Mark, you are up first. 3, 2, 1. What are your 3 favorites?
My 3 favorites. Number 3 would be Olympia, Washington. I like that song a lot. Wow. Maxwell Murder is my number 2, and you can guess what my number 1 is. It's Ruby Soho.
Steve.
Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit, Chris. I know you love when I skirt the rules, so I'm going to do that. For number 3, I'm going to go with Olympia, Washington. I love that song. Number 2, I'm going with Journey to the End of the East Bay. To the end. And where I'm going to cheat is that at number 1, I'm putting Ruby Soho and Time Bomb because these are both influential Rancid tracks that equally really get you into this music and jog my nostalgia. So number 1 is split between Ruby Soho and Time Bomb.
But if you had to pick one,
I just split it. You know, you do the thing where, you know, you pick the one and then the one who misses is completely out. I can't do that. It hurts my brain. So I just
that would be one of these situations. Because if you did just pick one, would the other one fall out completely?
I don't know, but I will say that I put up that thing on Instagram, and currently Ruby Soho is winning 4-2.
Yeah,
it's only been 20 minutes.
I mean, we're not trying to give you a hard time. I think we're just right about this one.
I agree.
Just just trying to see what's going on.
I'm gonna go a little bit different of a route here. I'm gonna do "You Don't Care Nothing" for number 3. I really like that song a lot, and it was towards the latter part of the album. So I did mention that there were a lot of songs toward the latter part of the album that just kind of sounded the same and kind of brought me down. This wasn't one of them. This actually was a great track. Number 2 was Roots Radical. I mentioned that I had no idea this was a single. It makes sense that it was very melodic, very enjoyable. I could hear it, on, I guess, a radio. I don't even think it must have had a video then if it was a single. I don't think I ever saw it.
The video is not so I watched it the other day and it's not that great, but there is a video.
Okay.
It's like one of those videos that's like footage of other stuff.
Got it. It's probably why we didn't see it in regular rotation. It probably was on late night MTV for sure, but if you didn't catch it there, you wouldn't have seen it.
If you weren't jumping on your bed at 1 a.m., you wouldn't have seen it.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. I do that normally.
You jump on the bed?
Yeah. I get excited. Music videos come on.
Sure. And number 1's Ruby Soho. I know it's chalk, but guys, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's the most enjoyable one. So I'm going to go with the chalk for number 1, and nostalgia and what brought me to Rancid to begin with, would open my eyes to who they were. But this exercise really opened my eyes completely to what they had to offer for this particular album. So I'm more excited about the body of work versus just the one song at this point in time. I think that I got a lot more songs that I can surround the Ruby Soho with that can give me a really awesome listening experience. And that's kind of what today resulted in. So really cool stuff. That's my ranking it, and that's our ranking it. So Steve, hopefully we can add those to the playlist.
Yeah, we'll do that. And let's do a quick setlist game, right? So Rancid opened up for Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins, I think it was last year. And in each one of their sets, they did 11 songs. So I'm going to give each of you guys a guess. Out of the 11 songs that Rancid did as an opener for that tour, how many songs from this record did they play out of 11? Mark, what do you think?
4.
Chris, what do you think?
3.
Wow. You guys, this record is really fucking important. Why don't we double some of those?
8 or 6?
It was 6. They did 6. Now, it's time to guess what the 6 are. You guys can take some turns. So out of 11 songs, they played 6 from Outcome the Wolves. What were they? Mark,
go ahead. Go ahead, Mark. Yeah, you start.
All right, we're going to take the easy one, Time Bomb.
Yes, that's correct. That's easy. They did that one.
Okay, well then I'll take the other easy one, Ruby Soho.
Correct. They also did that one. Now we're getting a little harder.
Maxwell Murder.
That's true. They opened their set with that.
Okay.
I would say, based on something that we talked about earlier, that they sang Roots Radical.
Roots Radical is on there. We are perfect so far. There's 2 left. Don't fuck it up,
So
Mark.
now, well, I'm gonna fuck it up here. Um, I don't know what other two they would do. They wouldn't do Olympia, Washington, would they?
You tell me.
No, she's automatic.
Nope, that's incorrect. That's one
Ah,
strike.
uh,
Chris?
Lockstep Gone.
Nope, that's two strikes. You guys were trending so strong in the
Junkie
setlist
Man.
game. That's three strikes. They also did Journey to the End of the East Bay, and they did the 11th Hour, but they didn't do those other three songs you said.
All right.
I was looking at 11th. I was looking at 11th Hour, but didn't go that way.
But you got to think to yourself, okay, Rancid is in front of the biggest audiences that they have ever been in their careers. I think that's probably not without any debate. And they've had, 8, 9, 10 albums. And of the 11 songs they did, 6 of them are from this album. This is the fucking Rancid album, guys. I'm glad we listened to it together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess I've never listened to any other Rancid outside of this. Obviously, if I told you earlier that I really only knew the hits, we listened to the album for this show. I definitely didn't listen to the other Rancid albums. Mark, have you ever listened to any of the other Rancid albums?
Not full albums. I've heard other songs, and they're not terrible. I don't think anything Rancid does is terrible. I think they stick to their genre. They just do it.
And they have new stuff out, like all the way up through like last year or this year. Maybe it was 24. I don't know. Maybe
2023, they had a full-length album called Tomorrow Never Comes.
Okay, so they've been putting out albums for like almost 25 years?
What's 1993 to 2023? Is that 40 years?
30.
30? Oh, yeah.
You're 40 years old, sir.
It's late for me to do math.
You're older than 40.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You born in 93?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so I mean that's considerable amount of time, a lot of music. These guys have longevity, and look, I think they write really good punk music that in a lot of ways is accessible to a lot more people the way that they write it, with melodic backings, the hooks. People like this stuff, and you don't have to be a hardcore punk fan to enjoy Rancid in a lot of ways, and I think that's a great draw to it. And I think that for us liking, the type of music we like, I think maybe that's why we're a little bit more drawn to this band, because they do give us that melodic take on punk music in a lot of ways. So it's more palatable.
Yeah, I had a good time. I thought this was everything that I thought about Rancid with Time Bomb and Ruby Soho really just expanded on it with listening to the full album.
Absolutely. Well, hey, everybody out there, what did you guys think about this album? What do you think about Rancid? Is this your favorite album? Are these your favorite songs? Is Ruby Soho the most recognizable Rancid song? Or when you think of Rancid, what are you thinking of? What do you think of? We want to know. Let us know. Obviously, get back to us. Yes, we have the poll. Get to the poll. Steve just voted for Time Bomb probably like 15 times.
I didn't vote for anything, but Ruby Soho just took a commanding lead.
I thought it was the other way around, but yeah, let us know. Hit us up on the socials. Hey, if you're not in the Discord yet, please check it out. It's a great way to talk about these things. We have a great community in there of individuals that like to talk about pop punk music, and different things in pop culture. Check us out, join us, join the conversation, and you can find that, and obviously all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. In addition to, you can check out how to give us a review. You can give us a review on Spotify or Apple, whether it be a written review or a 5-star review on either or. You can do those things via the podcast app, or you can check out our hub. It's www.hsnepod.com. That'll get you to places like those socials, like our store, where you can check out some cool stuff.
Indeed. And Mark, thank you so much for joining us. You have a podcast. You just started out, and I don't know if the audiences really overlap with the pop punks, but they do with Chris and I. So give us a heads up on what your thing is and where we can follow you.
So I started another football podcast, like so many out there, but we give some real insights and we give some fan perspectives. And it's all about the NFL right now. And we're talking about the playoffs, and it's called the 2 Point Conversation Podcast. You can find us anywhere you get podcasts, and on Instagram at the 2 Point Conversation Podcast. The word TWO, 2, not the number 2.
Cool, man. Thank you
I'd like
so
to
much.
have you guys on there. Chris, you're a fantasy football guy, right?
I sure am.
Chris actually wins money at fantasy football. I play fantasy football every year, and I lose. Chris always wins, so he would be a very good guest, and I will compliment him. But thank you for joining us this evening. And if you're a fan of our show, make sure to check out our Patreon, which is patreon.com/HSNE pod. We do bonus content for our patrons every single month. And we're going to be back next week with an all-new episode of HSNE Goes Old School. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast pop on.
It's Dragon Wagon.